Hi guys, our lovely patient is here for her second round of lifting threads. So we lifted her a while back. We did an 8 thread lift. So we did a 3 vector on either side, and then we did 1 jaw thread. We're gonna do the exact same thing today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get her all marked up. She is all clean. I have her headband on. Patient loved the results. We're just kind of aiming for more lift down here in her lower face jowl area. So when I'm marking her up, I am going to pick a point on the zygoma that I feel comfortable with, not too close to the eye. I don't want it back near the hairline. I'm gonna mark her up wherever I see that nice pull. So I like right here. I'm gonna have her smile. Good. And we're not in the bunching, relax. And I'm gonna go about there for her nasolabial. Marionette, we're getting some good pull there. And then jowl. Always marking her antagonal notch, and those will be my 3 vectors. I'm then gonna do a jaw vector, so ending right about here and picking a point where I get nice pull about 1 centimeter from the mandible. Of course, always avoiding that antagonal notch. So if you can see, that's roughly where my vectors will be. Do the other side, same thing. Labial, marionette, jowl, marking my antagonal notch and avoiding that at all costs. We do not want to hit that. Perfect, and then we'll do our jawline, about 1 centimeter from the mandible. Perfect. So, as you can see, this patient has a pretty petite face, so her features are small, she has thinner skin. I want to take all of that into account when I'm choosing what threads to use. So, obviously these vectors are a little bit shorter. I can definitely use a 90 millimeter length thread in all of these. Also choosing a gauge that's a little bit smaller so that we decrease our risk of any thread visibility. So follow along. All right, little pinch and a burn. So I am injecting lidocaine, little pinch and a burn, with epi to numb those insertion sites. I will let that sit for a second, and then I'm going to use my introducer needle to create my pilot hole. All right. A little bit of pressure. Kind of creating this insertion site and switching my trajectory so that I get all 3 vectors. I then am going to create my track using this cannula, 22 gauge by 75 millimeter. And I'm constantly checking my depth, checking on my patient. Doing okay, Lisa? Mm-hmm. And I like that. I'm gonna now numb this track. So, big burn. And this is just 2% lidocaine in here. I'll then go on to my next vector. And I like my depth all the way down. So big burn. Always checking to make sure I know where that antigonial notch is. And last big burn. Good. So she is now nice and numb, and we will proceed with the thread placement. So the idea is that I've created those tracks, and now I should be able to go in with these threads. I am using 19 gauge by 100 millimeter, just for ease purposes. And this is not a sharp tip cannula, Arte's. So I'm down there at the end of my vector. I like my depth. I am going to give some gentle upward pressure and come on out with that cannula. Thread stays in. So there we have it, a lift. Just move on to the second and third. Doing okay, Lisa? Mm-hmm. Sometimes, as you can see, it's a little tricky to get into that pilot hole. But we are in. And once you find that correct plane, that subdermal plane, you should be good to go. I like my depth there. Coming on out. Alright. Last one in this hole. Giving me a little bit of trouble. You okay? Mm-hmm. Pain? Mm-hmm. Okay. Alright, and we like that. We'll go a little bit further into that jowl and come on out. So you can see some dimpling here. We're gonna smooth that out, don't you worry. What do you need? Sorry, Nicole. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and trim these threads, being sure to trim them all the way flush with the skin. We want to avoid any visible threads. Perfect. We'll put some arnica gel on there to give us a little bit of assistance while smoothing. I'll take my gauze, and you'll watch as these thread barbs kind of just unpucker and release that tissue. A little bit of pressure here. And since these are multi-directional, you can actually apply pressure in both directions to release that tissue. And you can see that's already starting to lay very nicely. Alright. I then like to clean my insertion site, make sure we're nice and clean. Put a Band-Aid on and then we'll move on to jaw. Perfect. All right, you can see my marking kind of disappeared with my wiping, but I feel confident that I know where I'm going. I still have my notch marked, which is most important. Can you feel this here?
No.
Okay, perfect. So we're still numb, and I'm gonna end up right down there near the other vector. And remember, I numbed this site previously. So I'm just creating that pilot hole for my vector. I'm then going in with my cannula. And as you can see, I can see the outline of my cannula, but I don't look too deep, I don't look too superficial. This patient has pretty thin skin, so it's really nice. I can really visualize where I am and my depth. Here's a big burn. Retrograding that lidocaine so that she gets numb all the way down that vector. Going in with my thread. And my thread should just kind of fall right into that track that I just created. And that looks pretty much the same, so we are good to go. Slight upward tension, and out we go with the cannula. I'll then trim this just like the others. A little bit of arnica. And give it a nice smooth. And then we will sit her up and you will be able to see kind of the side-by-side comparison. As you can see, we are a little lifted here. We got rid of that jowly appearance that this patient was not liking. Her nasolabial fold is a little bit resolved. She's a little bit swollen throughout here. Don't fret, that will go down. She might have a little bit of bruising right at these insertion sites, but overall feeling okay? All right,
Yeah,
great.
very good.